What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's the final bracketology before the tournament. I'm so excited. Man, this bracketology, I just took a look at it, man. It's going to be some tough matchups in here. And I feel like this is the way the tournament's going to be. It's going to be difficult for me to predict really anything. Hold up. Sorry, that's my dog barking right now. But anyway, let's look at the bracket. I'm going to start out with this bracket watch. Topper we'll see is going to be Gonzaga. First team out, SMU, after losing to Memphis yesterday. That was a tough loss. They're out of it. It doesn't look like they're going to make it. Then the last team in, Texas A&M, after beating Arkansas yesterday, and Auburn, they got a chance to basically secure themselves in the tournament. I think they should be in no matter what happens. Tennessee is a good team, very good team actually. Yeah, Texas A&M, quite impressive run there in the SEC tournament. And on the bubble, we got Miami, Iowa State, Rutgers, Indiana. The last four in, Notre Dame falls into that category. Michigan, Wyoming, Texas A&M. And then the first four out, SMU obviously out. Xavier is out of the field. Just like, were they out last time? I think they're now out. Oklahoma, Wake Forest is not looking good. And then the next four out, we got Dayton, BYU, St. Louis, and VCU. It's going to be interesting what the committee thinks. I feel like Wyoming, I would put SMU over Wyoming. Wake Forest, I don't think deserves to get in, but we'll see what happens come the tournament. Anyway, Texas Southern, Texas A&M, CC both won their conferences yesterday. Congratulations to them. They're going to be playing it out, and then Notre Dame drops down to a 12, and Texas A&M obviously new to the field at 12. And then the movement, none in the West. Providence is going to drop down to a 5 after that embarrassing loss. Houston's going to be jumping up to a 4. Interesting. Houston is playing much better in their conference tournament. I will say that. They are a decent team. I got to respect them a little bit more, but that's a tough matchup against Chattanooga. 11th seed Iowa State drops down there, and then St. Peter's jumps up to a 14. In the Midwest, Texas drops down to a 6, as well as Miami dropping down to 11. Miami's just dropping down because of Virginia Tech. Yep, Virginia Tech new to the field there. Colgate dropping down to a 15. Creighton, North Carolina switch spots at 8 and 9. LSU jumps up to a 5 to play. I'm not really happy about those matches, but LSU is missing their coach. That's going to become interesting to see what happens in that game. But anyway, let's get into the predictions. Starting out with the first four, I got Wyoming over Notre Dame. Notre Dame kind of struggling as of late. I don't think that they're going to go deep into this tournament. Texas Southern, I'm going to go Texas A&M, CC in that game. And then Michigan against Texas A&M, a great matchup here, man. Michigan is a good team, but Texas A&M is red hot. I just cannot pick against them in that game. I wish one of those teams would go over there. And then Bryant, I do think, can be Wright State. So anyway, let's get into the field. Starting out with Gonzaga, I do think that they can beat Texas A&M CC. And then Murray State, I think, could beat San Diego State. UConn, I think, could survive against UAB. Arkansas, I think, could beat Vermont. And this is a very tough prediction. St. Mary's, Indiana, I see both these teams as potential Sweet 16 threats, but they have to play in the first round. So it's a good matchup, but that's really tough. Indiana, I'm going to actually have to go with Indiana. I feel like they can win that game. St. Mary's is a good team, but I feel like Indiana can win that game. And then Texas Tech, I think, can beat Montana State. Colorado State against San Francisco. I'm going to go San Francisco. And then Purdue, I think, could beat Georgia State. And then down here, got Baylor, I think, could beat Norfolk State. Creighton, I think, could beat North Carolina. I don't like this matchup, but Wyoming, I think, could beat LSU. I just cannot see LSU advancing far in this tournament. Illinois, I think, could beat Princeton. Rutgers, I think, could pull off the 11 over 6. Both teams very inconsistent, but Rutgers has been more hot down the stretch than Alabama has. Villanova, I think, could beat Longwood. Virginia Tech gets Ohio State. I could very much see that upset happening. Ohio State, very inconsistent. Just actually more lately, they've just been consistently bad. So Virginia Tech is just one of the hottest teams right now. Just beat Duke. I think that they can win. And then Auburn, I think, could beat Colgate. And then over here, Arizona, I do think could beat Bryant. TCU gets Seton Hall. I'll go TCU. Texas A&M, I think, could pull off the 12-5 upset against Providence. They're just red hot right now. I really do like Providence, but in that game, I'm going to go with a loss for them. And then Houston against Chattanooga, man, I was thinking about this one. Do I go with the upset? Houston is turning things around in conference play as of late. Oh, man. It's difficult. You know what? Let's see what happens tonight. I'm going to go with Chattanooga. Why not go with the 13? Let's see what happens today between Memphis. If Memphis crushes them again, I have a right to be still mad at Houston. They still haven't played anyone impressive. So unless they play good against Memphis, I'm going to go Chattanooga in that game. Boise State, I do think, beats Iowa State. Tennessee, I think, can beat St. Peter's in a great matchup. Michigan State is turning things up. They did play decent against Purdue. I think Michigan State could beat Davidson. I'm going to respect Michigan State. They're playing much better. And Duke, I think, could beat Delaware. So then right here, I think Kansas can beat Cal State Fullerton. Memphis, I think, could beat Marquette. Iowa, I think, could beat South Dakota State. UCLA, I think, could beat New Mexico State. Good game here. Texas, I think Miami could pull off that 11-6 upset against Texas. How much 11s have we picked? We picked every 11-6? No. Boise State's the only one that survived. So Texas, I do think, can lose that game. And then Wisconsin, I think, could beat Akron. Loyola Chicago, I think, could pull off the 10-7 upset against USC. And Kentucky, I think, could beat Jacksonville State. All right, so for a spot in the Final Four. Gonzaga, I do think, can beat Murray State. UConn against Arkansas. A good game there. Really good game, but I'll go Arkansas. Indiana against Texas Tech. I'll go Texas Tech in that game. And Purdue, I think, could beat San Francisco. So I'll chalk there. And then Baylor, I think, could beat Creighton. Wait, no. Creighton could beat Baylor. This is an easy upset for me to pick. Creighton's hot. Loved them all year long. They could win that game over Baylor. And then Illinois, I do think, can survive against Wyoming. And then Villanova, I think, could beat Rutgers. Auburn is going to lose to Virginia Tech. I'm going with the 2 seed and the 1 seed both falling. Auburn's not playing very well lately, and Virginia Tech is a team that can pull off that upset. I think that they will to beat Auburn. There you go. Arizona against TCU. I'll go Arizona in that game. Texas A&M, I do think, could beat Chattanooga to continue their Cinderella story. Tennessee, I think, could beat Boise State. No more 6 seeds now. And then Duke against Michigan State. After losing the ACC Conference Tournament, I'm going to go Michigan State. Another 2 seed fall. Michigan State's playing good basketball against Purdue. They beat Wisconsin, a top team. And they beat Maryland. So those are all decent teams. Maryland's a decent team. And Purdue and Wisconsin are both good teams. So Michigan State's turning things on as of late. I'm going to go with Michigan State to win that game over Duke. And then we got Kansas against Memphis. I'll go Kansas in that game after they're playing very well after winning their tournament. Iowa against UCLA. I'm going to go Iowa. Iowa's playing good basketball. UCLA is turning things up as of late, but I do think Iowa can win that game. Wisconsin, I do think, could beat Miami. And Kentucky could beat Loyola. All right, so for a spot in the Elite Eight, we got Gonzaga and Arkansas, and I'm going to go with the upset again. Arkansas over Gonzaga. Gonzaga, good team, one of the best teams in the country, but I don't think that they're going to be a Final Four team this year unless they get some crazy matchups. I'm going to go Arkansas in that game. And then Purdue, I do think could beat Texas Tech. Good game, Illinois-Creighton. I'll go Illinois, though. I could see Creighton pulling off that win. And then Villanova against Virginia Tech. Villanova just won their conference tournament. As hot as Virginia Tech is, I think I'm going to end their Cinderella story right there and go Villanova. And over here, Arizona, I do think could hold off Texas A&M. And Tennessee could beat Michigan State. So no classic 1 versus 2 right now. Do we have it here? Kansas against Iowa. Whew. I've done this upset the past few times. Kansas is playing good ball. Kind of like the Houston-Chattanooga team game. I'm going to see what Iowa can do tonight. If they play good, beat Purdue, I probably will go with that upset. Right now, Kansas is playing their best basketball. I'll go them right there to win that game. And then Kentucky, I do think it'll be Wisconsin. And then for a spot in the Final Four, Purdue against Arkansas. I'm going to go Purdue in that game. And then Villanova against Illinois. I'm going to go Villanova in that game, but a good game there. Then we got Arizona against Tennessee. Tennessee, I do think, could be a Final Four team this year, but they have to match up against Arizona. Tennessee is a good team. They just beat Kentucky today. You cannot disrespect Tennessee. I think they should be over Auburn at that number 2 seed, but I'm going to go with Arizona in that game. And then Kansas against Kentucky. Kentucky is a decent team. I mean, they're a really good team, but Kansas is playing good as of late. So I'm going to bring in, first time in a while that I bring in 2 number 1 seeds right here. And I think it happens with Kansas. I think that they can win that game and advance on to the Final Four. So we got a 2 seed, a 3 seed, and 2 1 seeds. Pretty even Final Four here. This Final Four is going to be crazy. It's probably going to be a bunch of random seeds. Anyway, we got Purdue against Villanova. I think Purdue can win that game. Purdue is a national championship caliber team. Villanova, they're good, but I don't see them winning a championship this year. I see them as a Final Four team. Then Arizona gets Kansas. Kansas is playing good. Arizona just came back to beat UCLA. I'm very impressed with Arizona's performance as of late. They've brought me back onto the train. I'll go Arizona, and I'm going to go with Arizona for my national champion. Last bracketology probably will be my champion right now. Actually, we'll see what happens, but I'm going to go with Arizona to be the national champion. They have some tough matchups to get here, but I think that they could do it. So anyway, guys, thank you all for watching this video today. Hope you enjoyed the content. Be sure to check out my March Madness predictions later today after the games, after Selection Show Sunday. But anyway, guys, peace.